Good evening, class.
Good evening.
Yeah, I can see Stephen. Stephen,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm very fine, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Today we are going to learn about the lathe machine, the different types of lathe machines, parts of the lathe machine, operations to be done on a lathe machine, tools used for each operation. When we talk about a lathe machine, it's a machine which does various purposes to make different engineering components. When I talk of engineering components, I mean the bolts, the nuts, and the rest. Those are the equipment which we can make out of the lathe machines. So basically, a lathe machine is a multi-purpose machine which can do a lot of things. So before we look at each processes performed by the lathe machine, we have to look at the different type of lathe machines. Before maybe I mention what I have, class, can anybody say some of the different types of lathe machines? Kurgat? Mr. Maru? Stephen?
A bench lathe machine.
Bench lathe machine. That is good. To add on top of that, we have what is called a center lathe. We have a turn lathe. We have a speed lathe. We have a bench lathe. We have an automatic lathe. And we have special purpose lathe. Those are the names given to different types of lathe machines. These lathe machines were developed by different people, and different people gave it the different names. Having known the different types of lathe machines, we can look at the different parts of a lathe machine. We have what is called the headstock. The headstock, we have what is called the tailstock. We have what is called the carriage, and we have what is called the bed. Those parts perform different functions at different times. They work hand in hand. Without a headstock or a tailstock, you will not be able to perform any operations in a lathe machine. I've shared with you my screen to show those parts of the different parts of a lathe machine. You can see the different parts. There you can see the headstock, and beside it we have the chuck. Under it we have the bed, and then we have the tool post. The tool post is where we will be putting our tool. We have the tailstock. The tailstock is towards the other end of the headstock. We have the carriage. We have the we still have the feed rod and lead screw. Those parts of that lathe machine perform different functions. Later during our lessons, we will learn on the specific functions of the different parts. At least now you'd have an overview of what those parts will likely do. The lathe machines perform different kinds of operations. And maybe before I share what I have, class, what are some of the operations which can be performed by a lathe machine? Mr. Kulga? Mr. Stephen? What other late operations do you know?
Turning and facing.
You have turning and facing. Mr. Maru? Well, that is very good. On top of that, we will have what is called drilling. We have what is called boring. We will have what is called nailing. We will have what is called facing. Specifically, when we talk of those types of late operations, when we talk of when we say facing, facing is an operations which of making ends of a workpiece flat. When maybe the surface of a component you are to perform some operation of it, you want to be flat or you have an even surface, you do an operation called facing. And to perform that operation called facing, you set the tool at that angle. And the tool being held by the chuck, you'd be able to perform the facing operation. Again, we would have what is called turning. Ideally, when you have a piece and you want to have a certain diameter, you'll perform a turning operation. In that, we would be reducing the diameter of the workpiece to a certain diameter to give you a turn product. We have what is called boring. You would use a boring tool to perform that operation. And ideally, when you talk of boring, you would be ideally enlarging the size of a hole in a workpiece. Imagine you had a hole initially and you want to enlarge it. You would perform an operation called boring. Again, we have what is called nailing. Nailing is an operation of making a surface rough on a workpiece. And with the picture I've shared, you would be able to see that when I talk about a nailing operation, you will give it that rough texture in the material. And then we have what is called parting off. Parting off is ideally trying to separate a piece from the other one. Ideally, I would say you are cutting a piece, and that operation of separating a component from the workpiece, you would have performed an operation called parting off. And then drilling. Drilling is making a hole in a piece of a job. You are creating a new hole in a piece. Thank you. I've come to the end of my lesson. Before I close, anybody who has a question?
Thank you, Mwalimu.
Thank you. Even nobody,
Okay.
yeah, okay. If nobody has a question, I would,
We don't have a question. We've understood and we're okay.
I would like to leave at that. With you, I've shared an assignment. Please try to attempt that assignment and hand in next time when we meet. Stop it.